An individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The officers attempted to disarm this individual, but the armed suspect reacted violently. Fearing for his life and for the lives of his fellow officers around him, an agent fired defensive shots. Medics were on the scene immediately and attempted to deliver medical aid to the subject, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect also had 2 magazines with ammunition in them that held dozens of rounds. He also had no ID. This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at this scene to inflict maximum damage on individuals and to kill law enforcement. An individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic
handgun.
The officers attempted to disarm this individual, but the armed suspect reacted violently. Fearing for his life and for the lives of his fellow officers around him, an agent fired defensive shots. Medics were on the scene immediately and attempted to deliver medical aid to the subject, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect also had 2 magazines with ammunition in them that held dozens of rounds. He also had no ID. This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at the scene to inflict maximum.
They lost trust. They lost Minnesota's trust the moment they stepped in our state. When they started killing people, they started trampling on everybody's rights. Everybody deserves dignity and respect. And we have fallen far from what made America great. You know what made America great? Give us your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, your wretched refuse yearning to breathe free. That's when America was great again.
There are many things I would rather be doing than standing out here. I don't mind the snow, but I hate ice. I don't mind the cold, but I hate ice. We need ice out of Minnesota. We need ice out of our cities and out of our homes.
I'm embarrassed to be American right now, and I am ashamed with how much we are letting them get away with. I am ashamed watching the videos of people being kidnapped off of our streets and knowing that no one is doing anything to stop it. It's been heartbreaking and inspiring all at the same time.
This started as a pretext about immigration and the fraud, whatever. It's well beyond that now. It's into your Second Amendment, it's into your Fourth Amendment, it's into your Sixth Amendment. This is so far beyond what people at home probably are watching going, oh, it's Minneapolis, it's woke hoth, it doesn't affect me, whatever. It does. It's you as well now. Wake up. Please watch what's happening here. I feel like we're performing CPR on what may already be a corpse called the Constitution. And yeah, there's plenty of people online laughing at us and going, ha, tryhards. But I think it's worth it, and I hope you do too.
All eyes are on Minnesota. Everyone is ramping it up, and we are working as hard as we can. We have whistles, and we have sandwiches. So we're working really hard against their guns with our whistles and sandwiches.
Well, ICE has murdered another American citizen in Minneapolis. As old Texas Paul, hope your coffee's as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. I really do. Please forgive if there's wind noise. Alex Pretti did nothing wrong. He was just filming. Video shows he had a camera in one hand, nothing in the other. He was exercising his right as an American citizen to carry a concealed weapon, but he never touched it. He never touched it. And before they shot him, they took it from him. They murdered him on the ground in the streets of Minneapolis. Now, I've been digesting this all day long in the hopes of coming up with something unique to say. But I can't. It's the same old shit. MAGA is ICE, and MAGA and their Second Amendment shit has always been just that, shit. It's never been about American citizens protecting themselves against a tyrannical government. It's always been about arming white supremacists. That's what it's always been about for MAGA. And you know it because they're out there on social media right now joining in the chorus because our government is slandering and libeling Alex Pretti. They're calling him a dangerous terrorist because he was exercising his Second Amendment right. Never touched his gun, only filmed. They beat the shit out of him and shot him on the street, and our government is slandering and libeling him. And MAGA are joining in the chorus. We are not the same. We are not the same. Democrats have always stood up for the Constitution. Hell, Democrats have always stood up for children. Who's screaming for the release of the Epstein file? Democrats. Republicans don't want to see them. They found out cult daddy's in there. Oh, no, they don't want to see that shit anymore. Fuck them kids. Even though pedophiles never stop raping kids. And they know it.
Republicans and right-wing commentators are turning against the Trump administration tonight over the shooting in Minneapolis today. Now, as you know, Alex Pretti was unalived by ICE agents today, and the official account from the Trump administration is that he pointed his weapon at ICE agents and they defended themselves. Well, video came out from multiple angles that completely contradicted that claim. And Kristi Noem came out despite the video and reasserted the claim that he was trying to shoot ICE agents. Well, it's not just Democrats that are pushing back. Now Republicans and right-wing commentators like Tim Pool, people who will defend Donald Trump no matter what, are calling this out. That even they are calling BS on this claim. And Democrats, for their part, many who have supported continuing to fund ICE are now saying no dice this time. We're going to have a talk about this. This is a huge turning point in the United States, and it is clear that nobody is buying the BS that Republicans in the Trump administration, I should say, are trying to sell. That don't believe what you see, don't believe what you hear, just believe what we tell you.
It looked to us from every angle, sir, that he was approached by them when he was helping another individual who was pushed down. What evidence do you have that he was assaulting any law enforcement?
Dana, we don't need a suspect's help in an active law enforcement scene.
When you say suspect, what is he suspected of?
That's an active law enforcement scene. He knew that was an active law enforcement scene, especially when the officers approached him, and it's very evident he did not need to be where he was.
When somebody is pushed down and a person's instinct is to help that person, when somebody's pushed down by law enforcement, you're saying that you just stand back and let law enforcement do what they're doing?
You know, Dana, every situation is different. What our officers are faced with here in Minneapolis are chaotic, very difficult and violent situations in which individuals, and this suspect is not the only one to bring a loaded weapon to a riot. The situations are chaotic and ever-changing. Follow directions for law enforcement. Don't inject yourself knowingly beforehand into a law enforcement situation.
With respect, it feels as though in some ways you're blaming the victim here.
The victims are the Border Patrol agents. I'm not blaming the Border Patrol agents. The victim are the Border Patrol agents. The suspect put himself in that situation. The victims are the Border Patrol agents there.
I just want to also go back to what I was asking about with regard to what Secretary Noem said, that he was brandishing a gun. At any point, do you have any evidence that, yes, he had a gun on his person? Was he brandishing it?
We heard the law enforcement officer say gun, gun, gun. So at some point, they knew there was a gun. So again, that is going to be part of that investigation as to what was happening on the ground there between those victims, the Border Patrol agent victims, and the suspect.
I'm sorry, people, that I have to make a video today with the hoodie on. So yesterday, as I was walking, telling people how hot it was down here in Florida, so now today, the hawk is out. This is Van Silk, another episode, Common Sense with Van Silk. As I take my walk and discuss things, you know, so lots going on ever since Alex Pretti was murdered. It seems like a lot of people didn't understand or couldn't see the video in real time of what really happened. You know, you had Kristi Noem and Gregory Bavino sat up here and did press conferences, calling this man a domestic terrorist. President of the United States, Donald Trump, called him a domestic terrorist. That was the narrative. They were trying to change the narrative in real time. And that's the sad part about it. Having a video don't mean nothing. But then everything changed when some of these Republicans started complaining and saying, hey, nah, this is not, what you're telling the American people is not what happened. It's not what I'm seeing. So evidently, Donald Trump and everybody's changing their narrative because it's not working for them. So I think they should go back and have the same attitude with Renee Good, who was in the car. They jumped to conclusion on how everything happened. But here's another thing. Where is the gun? And another thing. How are these guys able to go and work the next day? Most police officers that are involved in shooting, or any law enforcement that's involved in shootings, have to go through like cycles, evaluation, and are they ready to go back in the field? So they moved them to another city. But there's a whole lot of problem with this whole Border Patrol, ICE agents. It's disrespectful. These cities was in calm measures until you want to bring them in there for other reasons of what is not what was being told to the American public. So, Donald Trump got to make a decision. You really got to get rid of Bovino. He got to go, period. Retire, whatever. Pam Bondi, Attorney General, she got to go. Kristi Noem, she got to go. There's others that got to go, but you get rid of these three because they're not qualified for the jobs. American people are suffering. They are suffering. So, check out some of these videos that I pulled. And this is Common Sense with Van Silk. I'll be right back.
It's fucking crazy. This is fucking crazy. I don't recognize our country. This is crazy. And it's got to stop. And if Minnesota falls, everything falls. And I firmly believe that. We're done as a nation.
I'm out here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, just a block away from where the man was shot this morning. Community members from all over the Twin Cities have shown up with all sorts of supplies, all sorts of support, signs, water, food, extra layers for people. Just talking to people to get their reactions just moments after they found out that another one of their neighbors has been shot and killed.
We're furious that our neighbors are getting kidnapped and murdered in the streets. We're out here peacefully protesting. We got 80-year-old grandmas out here protesting. And we got the feds tear gassing us, spraying people in the eyes with pepper spray, throwing flashbangs. I just got gassed. I had a flashbang thrown at my feet. And we've got these beautiful community members looking out for us. And our state and our federal government are not.
Mayor Frey's not doing jack shit. Politicians largely aren't doing jack shit. We're the ones out here. You can say, advocate with your vote and do this lawsuit and that, but people are dying and getting arrested daily.
We were all peacefully protesting ICE on Nicollet and 28th, and they just started. It was rubber bullets, tear gas, pepper spray, smoke bombs, and they loved it. They get off on it, right? It was the scariest experience I've ever experienced in my lifetime. I'm not a protest type of person, but this is where we are now, right? So, and our police force and our city, state, local government, they're doing nothing. They're protecting them, the goons. There are no guardrails, there are no laws anymore, and nobody's held to account. And
Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara went on national TV and he said what basically every city official is thinking and very few are willing to say out loud. People have had enough. ICE is bringing the chaos. They're not solving the chaos. They are the generators of the chaos. And it is time for them to go. This is not a left-wing activist. This is not anybody from Antifa. This is not Black Lives Matter. This is not a Tic Tac commentator. This is the chief of police of Minneapolis. And he says Trump's ICE goons are reckless and they are dangerous and they've got to get out of here.
Even if there is an investigation that ultimately proves that at the time of the shooting it was legally justified, I don't think that even matters at this point, because there is so much outrage and concern around what is happening in the city.
What do you mean it doesn't matter at this point? You mean the situation on the ground is already, the impression is left?
People have had enough. This is the third shooting now in less than 3 weeks. The Minneapolis Police Department went the entire year last year recovering about 900 guns from the street, arresting hundreds and hundreds of violent offenders, and we didn't shoot anyone.
Right.
And now this is the second American citizen that's been killed. It's the third shooting within 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. People have been speaking out, saying that this was going to happen again. And I think everyone is kind of waiting for folks on both sides to come together and just figure this thing out. This is not sustainable. This police department has only 600 police officers. We are stretched incredibly thin. This is taking an enormous toll trying to manage all of this chaos on top of having to be the police department for a major...
Exactly. We're going to continue to use that minimum amount of force necessary to accomplish our mission, and we never did use tear gas or any other less lethal munitions against peaceful protesters. We support the First Amendment. We always support the First Amendment, but when they cross the line and they're violent, we will use those less lethal munitions because it keeps them safe, it keeps our officers safe, and it keeps the public safe. Exactly. We're going to continue to use that minimum amount of force necessary to accomplish our mission, and we never did use tear gas or any other less lethal munitions against peaceful protesters. We support the First Amendment. We always support the First Amendment, but when they cross the line and they're violent, we will use those less lethal munitions because it keeps them safe, it keeps our officers safe, and it keeps the public safe.
As you can see, the outpouring of the American people. I mean, Donald Trump, you gotta believe these people at their duties. Kash Patel is the same person who's in charge of the FBI that sat up here and said there should be no guns at any protest. And what was January 6th? Was the kid, Kyle, who killed people, had an AR-15? What are we talking about here? This man gun was never unholstered. He lost his life trying to save the woman that was shoved to the ground by the ICE agent, or whatever agent he is. Now, we know you're the one who make the narrative. If it don't work in your favor, you got to send it to the underlings. They got to get fired, they got to get removed, they got to get demoted, they got to get replaced to save you. Because you're the only one with immunity. Everybody else can go to jail. Listen, they can go to jail. There's no expiration date on them. I'm saying, again, if it wasn't for the Republicans and for a lot of the people speaking out on that side, y'all would have stayed with the same narrative. But being the fact you got people like even Ted Cruz saying, hey, no. This is what has to happen. This is not the way I seen it. And see, that's the sad part. The sad part about all this, it could be in the video. Y'all could actually see. Hold on a second. Y'all could actually see what actually happened. Try to change the narrative. Try to make it something else, which it isn't. Now, I know I'm over here rambling. It's cold. But hey, common sense with Van Silk goes anywhere. I got this Naughty by Nature hoodie on. And, you know, like I say, ALGA, America loves great Americans. All I'm going to say is we got to make things better because we are all humans, no matter what. Thank you. Look at and enjoy the other people's opinions about what's going on. I'm on rumble.com and YouTube. Thomas and Van Silk. Have a blessed day.
I don't know of any peaceful protester that shows up with a gun and ammunition rather than a sign.
How rich is it that she is showing up to the scene of a protest with a legally owned weapon should be grounds for a person's death, execution at the hands of the state by the same party and the same administration that praises Kyle Rittenhouse.
He's a really good young guy. He's 18 years old. He should never have been put through that. That was prosecutorial misconduct.
Isn't it good that a 17-year-old kid who was raised by a single mother made good decisions and decided to be a positive force in his community? We want to promote the types of virtues that exist in Kyle Rittenhouse.
I have to remind people, do you remember what you were doing when you were 17 or 18 years old? This kid's whole life's ahead of him. He's now a free man, thankfully, because due process actually worked.